Welcome to 52. We're looking at problem number 36 from section 5.3 of the Hughes-Hallett calculus text. We've been asked to calculate the average value of a particular function, the square root of 1 minus x squared, over the interval 0 to 1. And we're supposed to say how we could tell that this average value, whether this average value is more or less than 1/2 without doing any calculations. So let's take a look at this situation. Here's some things you're going to need to know to work with this problem. First of all, you have to know what the average value of a function is. The average value of a function over an interval is the height of a particular rectangle. The base of that rectangle is the interval itself that you're working on, and the average value is going to be the height for that rectangle that makes the area of the rectangle come out the same as the integral of the function over that interval. So when you get an average value for a function, what you're doing is finding the height of a rectangle, and you're picking that height in such a way that the area of the rectangle is the same as the integral of the function over the interval. So let's take a look at it in a particular case with this function we're working with. We've got f of x is the square root of 1 minus x squared. Now if y is the square root of 1 minus x squared, then y squared plus x squared equals 1. And that you should recognize as the formula for a circle of radius 1 centered at the origin. So our function f of x is the upper half circle if we went from minus 1 to 1. In this case, we're going from x equals 0 to x equals 1, so we're only getting a quarter circle. So let's take a look at that picture. Like I just said, the function is going to be the quarter circle, and there I've drawn a graph of it. Also draw some dashed lines so you can see the unit square there. I'll need that in just a second. Now, the integral of this function is going to be the area of this quarter circle, and there it is in green off to the left. The average value for this function over this interval will be the height of a rectangle. That rectangle has to be tall enough that the area of this rectangle, I'm showing it in red, is going to be the same as the green area. So you can look at the picture of the quarter circle sitting in the unit square, and you can clearly see that the quarter circle takes up more than half of the unit square. If you think about it for just a minute, that says that the average value has to be bigger than 1/2 because the quarter circle is taking up more than half of the unit square. And that's what I say in my final answer here. The quarter circle is larger than half the unit square. So the average value has to be more than 1/2. The average value itself is just going to be that green area because we're working over an interval of length 1. And so the area of a circle, don't need a calculator to do that, is the area of a quarter circle is pi over 4 if it has radius 1, and this area is the average value. And there's our answer for part A.